What do you do when you've done all you can do? And it seems like it's never, ever enough. Can you tell me, brother, what do you say?
This is one of my favorite songs. I've been through so many changes in my life, till I almost lost my mind. I know I never said how much I need you, sugar, but I need you by my side.
Only a cue would do that to me. Good morning, and welcome again to this recognition ceremony. I'm David Akins, and I am standing in this morning for the president of the Academy of Professional Funeral Service Practice. And we want to take time out this morning with the help of these distinguished gentlemen to present honors to those members of 100 black women who too are members and have received their certified funeral service practitioners. As I call your name, we'll ask that you come up and you would receive your recognition. Joanne Williams. Frankie Washington. Tryphena Wiseman. June R. Williams, my homegirl. Willie A. Watkins. Alexander C. Wynn III. Dr. Carol Williams. Troy B. Smith. Kimberly Silas. Elleanor Starks. Give her a big round of applause. Or I should say, give her a Texas round of applause. You're deserving. Linda D. Smith. J.C. Scarborough III. Francine Ross Rodin. Crystal M. Powell. Terry Parrish. Taiwu Ogunsolo. Madonna. Come on, homegirl. Don't mess up, man. Don't mess up that hairdo. Don't mess up that hairdo, boy. We have trouble on our hands this morning. Joanne F. Lee. Theodore Lee Jr. Vicki King White. Nicole Kelly. In his absence, I will call his name. William P. Joyner, who I represent today as president of the Academy of Professional Funeral Service Practice. Floyd Hurley. Annie Holt. Dottie Hector. Rosie Lee Hayden. Pamela Higginbotham. Kevin Haynes. William C. Harris, Jr. Marie Goolsby. Eris Granby. J. D. Dodds. Barry Franklin. Hall L. Davis IV. George J. Durham, Jr. Jamie J. Cameron, my homegirl, President of the National Funeral Directors and Morticians Association. Cornell R. Carroll. Beverly Cotton. My Jersey homegirl. Christia Bob. Robert L. Bates. Herbert C. Barker. Michael Beckwith. Bill Bourne II. John Beckwith. Let's give all of those recognized a big round of applause. Each of them received a beautiful medallion provided by Batesville Casket Company. Let's give them a big round of applause. And following their name on the medallion are the letters CFSP. If you're in this room this morning and not a member of the Academy, I challenge you today to come by the 100 Black Women booth. You can sign up today. The other day we had another recognition, and Lou was not in the room. I'd like you to have Lou Charbonnet of New Orleans stand, who has recently become certified with the Academy. And Cheryl Anderson, is she present this morning? Well, she is the candidate of choice for the board election that's taking place right now. Do remember to vote before August the 15th, and remember the name Cheryl Anderson. Thank you. It's been our pleasure to be with you today. And give these gentlemen a big round of applause for their service here today. All they had to do was stand up here, look good, and hand out the medals.
God is good. All the time. All the time. God is good. All right. And secondly, I want to acknowledge Mama Starks and her wonderful staff for putting this gorgeous event together. Can we give them a round of applause? I'm so delighted she asked me to be here this morning. And, you know, when Mama Starks asks you to do something, you say when, where, and what time do I show up? Now, she told me 7, so I took that to mean 6:30 to 6:45, so I'm glad I was on time. And lastly, I would like to acknowledge you all, our audience. I want you to look to your neighbors and say, neighbor, I look good. Some of y'all aren't doing this. I saw this table in the middle. So we're going to say, neighbor, I look good. And neighbor, I feel good. All right. Moving on to this morning's 2014 M. Althea Range Leadership Award. We're actually going to acknowledge 2 recipients this morning. This award honors persons who are not only activists, authors, publishers, philanthropists, historians, trailblazers, and most of all, leaders They are active in our communities as well. This morning, we're going to acknowledge Ms. Roberta B. Hughes Wright and her son, Mr. Hilbert B. Hughes. Mr. Hughes, seated here to my left, is here on behalf of himself and his mother. Ms. Roberta Wright holds a JD degree from Wayne State and a Doctor of Philosophy degree from the University of Michigan. She has authored not 1, but 12 books. She was admitted to practice before the Supreme Court of the United States, where she was the founder of the first Independence National Bank of Detroit, Michigan. She persuaded the South Carolina Historic Department and the U.S. Historical Commission to erect a plaque acknowledging the site of the reading for the Emancipation Proclamation back from January 1st, 1863. She is the widow of Dr. Charles Wright, who is the founder of the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History in Detroit. And just so you all know, that is one of the largest museums in our nation at this time. Mr. Wilbur Hughes holds a Juris Doctor from Howard University School of Law. I know our program today says General Manager, but he let me know he is the CEO of the Detroit Memorial Park Association. He is also a distinguished writer, co-authoring not 1 but 2 books, Lay Down Body, Living History in African American Cemeteries, and also he has copies of his other book here today, The Death Care Industry, African American Cemeteries and Funeral Homes. So if you want to have your legacy published, I suggest you get to know him and his mother. He is also a member of state and various national and international trade associations for cemetery and funeral organizations. Our recipient, Mr. Wilbur Hughes, was appointed by the Speaker of Michigan House of Representatives to the Freedom Trail Commission, which documented the Underground Railroad activity in the state. They are both affiliated with the Charles Wright African American History Museum. This dynamic mother and son team are not only trailblazers in the industry of death care and health, death care teams, but they serve our communities locally and abroad. So at this time, could we give a round of applause for this 2014 Out There Range Leadership Award to Mr. Wilbur Hughes and his wife, Mr. Rodriguez. Alrighty, and we'll have Ms. Eccles back to the stage.
All right, next up we're going to have the Gift of Funeral Education and Memorial Scholarship. It says, salute the memory of those we loved and cared about and who made the difference in our lives. Their memory lives on through the gifts of funeral education and memorial scholarships. Man should not consider his material possessions his own, but common to all, so as to share them without hesitation when others are in need. We'll have Benjamin A. and Mildred A. Williams from Williams Funeral Home, Augusta, Georgia. Donald Trimble Mortuary of Decatur, Georgia. Julia Roberta March Funeral Home and King Memorial Park, Baltimore, Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. We've got Vernon L. Wallace Broadview Funeral Home, Broadview, Illinois. NFDMA past President James W. Winston and Felicia Winston, Howe Mortuary, Los Angeles, California. Inez S. Jones and Elbert Jones, Strong and Jones Funeral Home, Tallahassee, Florida. Got George H. Weldon Sr., Weldon Funeral Home, New York IFD of Texas, Geraldine. Cunningham and Kim Saunders, San Antonio, Texas, Funeral Director. Alex Pope Jr., and wife Sandra Pope, Pope Funeral Homes, Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Elizabeth L. Phillips, Phillips Funeral Home, Baltimore, Maryland. Joseph Jones, Jones Mortuary, East Palo Alto, California. Reverend Dr. S.B. Marshall and wife Naomi Schuler Marshall, Schuler Marshall Funeral Home in Holly Hill, South Carolina. James H. Cole Sr. and James H. Cole Jr. James H. Cole Funeral Home, and that's in Detroit, Michigan. M. Atherley Range Funeral Home, Miami, Florida. A.A. Rayner Sr. and A.A. Rayner Jr. and other family members. A.A. Rayner Funeral Home, Chicago, Illinois. John and Margaret Stewart Sr. and John Stewart Jr. Stewart Funeral Home, Washington, D.C. A. Faye, Miss Kitty Dorsey Keats Funeral Home in Waco, Mejia in Marlin, Texas. Hattie Watkins, Willie A. Watkins Funeral Home, Atlanta, Georgia. Aramis Fouché of Fouché's Hudson Funeral Home in Oakland, California. Calvin Winstead and Goldie Beckett, G.C. Williams Funeral Home, Louisville, Kentucky. Rebecca Becky Barksdale and Peter Barksdale, her son, in Barksdale Funeral Home, Detroit, Michigan. Mary Webster Boyd, E.F. Boyd and Sons Funeral Home, Cleveland, Ohio. John Clarence Scarborough Sr. and J.C. Scarborough Jr., grandfather and father of L.L.J.C. Scarborough III, Scarborough and Hatchet Funeral Home, Durham, North Carolina. Joseph Jones, brother of L.L. Charles Jones, Jones Mortuary, East Palo Alto, California. Albertha Ballard Lewing, educator, mother of 2014 honoree Sandra Clark Funeral Home, Dallas, Texas. Got Myrtle Hines, Madonna Multinational, Racine, New Jersey. Sarai Funeral Home in Lafayette, Louisiana. And then we have Commonwealth Institute, Dallas Institute, and Christina Bob, our honoree. Thank you. All right, next we're moving right along to the 2014 Academy Awards presentations for the 2014 Texas Distinguished and Phenomenal Women Awards. And we will have Dr. William Russo and Dr. Jason Alatieri.
Thank you for that warm round of applause. This morning, my name is William Russo, and I'm from Houston, Texas. And a lot of people get confused with my name, and they think I'm French, but my name is R-U-S-S-O. It's Italian. To verify that, I brought along my Italian brother, Dr. Terry. When I got on the elevator this morning, a lady said, "Wow, you are really sharp this morning." So I said, "You know, thank you, ma'am. But I want to share something with you all. This isn't really my suit. What it is, I run a funeral home in Houston, and I knew I was coming to the convention, so I had this service. And so I asked the lady to bring the clothing early for her husband. So she got it in right before I left. And the funeral isn't until Saturday. That's why I didn't have any breakfast. I didn't want to get anything on it. We'd like to, first of all, thank Elleanor for, you know, putting on this great affair. And now I see why she asked me to MC. I'm one of the only ones not getting an award. But on the serious side, we're here to make some presentations to some very worthy people. This past weekend, we had the occasion to look at the Football Hall of Fame, and on there, the different recipients made speeches as to how they reached that height of being on the Hall of Fame. And although they were different players from different teams, from different eras, they all basically said the same thing: teamwork, attention to detail, and perseverance. And those things are also required in the funeral service and in any type of profession that you engage in. If you just have those things, those common denominators, you will make it. Today we're here to present the Phenomenal Woman's Award, and I have a list here, and Jason is going to come up and he's going to help me here. And on my list, the first person that we have, and if you haven't noticed, you have a program there, and in the program there are beautiful bios on each of these people, and so I'm not going to try to, you know, read all of that today. You can do that when you get home. Put it next to the Ebony magazine, and you know, whenever you get a chance, please check it out. The first person that we'd like to recognize is Miss Charlotte Faggett, and she is the recording secretary of the Independent Funeral Directors Association of Texas, and we've known her for a long time. She's served in many capacities, and I guess we want her to come forward at this time, Ms. Faggett. Our next recipient comes from my hometown, but actually she's a little outside of Houston. She's in a place called Maine, and she is the president of our local Funeral Directors Association and a very active person in the funeral service industry, Ms. Dorothea Jones. Dorothea is also on the rodeo committee, but that's in February. Our next recipient, very good friend of mine, a member of Epsilon Delta, and also a member of our local Funeral Directors Association in Houston. And she is the funeral director in charge at the Paradise facility, Ms. Kim Stiles. Our next recipient comes from the city of Corpus Christi, and Ms. Paula Porter. And Ms. Porter, from her bio, it says that she was interested in the funeral service industry when she was a little girl, and she started to come around the funeral home. Then it says that she went into nursing, and then she came back to funeral directing. So I guess if she couldn't cure them, she would just kind of... Our next recipient, she isn't present this morning, but I understand that there is a person who will accept the award for her. This young lady, she's from Houston, Texas, and she serves as the treasurer of our local association. And she has said on numerous occasions that she finished high school with me, but I never saw her there. And this Miss Jessie Tuttle, and she's with Ross Mortuary. I think Miss Harris will accept for her. That concludes the honorees that I have to introduce. Before I sit down, I'd like to Of course, I will give Joe Cutchins, the gentleman who offered the musical renditions this morning. He's a good friend, past president of the National Funeral Directors and Morticians Association. And his cousin, Gerald Austin, is the lead singer for the Manhattan. So let's give Joe. So I'm going to turn it over to the president of Commonwealth College. As I tell people all the time, it's one thing that kept me out of college, high school.
Good morning. How can I possibly follow that right there? What can I do? What can I do? Although I will tell you a story, and I can verify something that William said. And when I became president and CEO of Commonwealth in 2005, one of the first things I did, got to my office and I started looking at some of the paperwork and seeing who's on my advisory board and Alumni Association, and I saw this name, Russo. And I thought, oh, a paisan, all right. Okay, I kind of come from the Northeast, family of Italian immigrants, and I finally got to meet William, and I can indeed verify that he is an Italian brethren. So, this is quite an honor today. It's an honor to get to be here and get to participate in something that is so important and that is so meaningful. You know, I always say that the toughest, most challenging part of one's education is not actually the exams, the licensure exams, the getting up early and being in class. It's actually being in class that very first day. There's a lot of woulda, shoulda, couldas. I would have done that, but I had this come up. Or I could have done that, but I had this come up. And we always look back. But it's making that decision to be there and following through to be there the first day. And I'm not saying everything else after that's easy, right? That's the first step, but it's such an important step. When I look at the numbers overall, last year there were roughly 1,600 graduates nationwide from our mortuary science programs. Roughly 150 were African American females. Okay. First day of class, the very last day, when you graduate, I think we all know that when we look around, we see that did we finish with the same amount of people that we started with? Okay, no, all right. How many of those went on to get licensed? There's a fair amount. Some went on to get licensed. But as I read through the program this morning, and I know some of the recipients, these individuals not only went to school, became licensed, but so important, they're serving their community. Just look at the programs. Look at all the service that is given back to the community. And it's just phenomenal. And so you're a very, very select group here today. I want to take a moment and acknowledge Vicki King White. Vicki is a graduate of our program toward the South, one of the oldest community college mortuary science programs, San Antonio College. Vicki is associated with Porter Loring Mortuaries. She's an accomplished musician. She's a mentor to many, and of course, I certainly can relate to her work in the classroom, because not only has she worked in the industry, received her education. By the way, she's one who looked at studying nursing and made that change to mortuary science. Okay, but she is also on the teaching faculty at San Antonio College, both for restorative art and embalming. Vicki, would you please come forward? Congratulations, Vicki. One of the first groups of students that I had the opportunity to teach and to interact with when I arrived at Commonwealth, amongst the group of students, there is one who, well, I will caution you right now, be careful when you look her in the eyes, okay? They're mesmerizing, all right? Christia Bob is an exceptional young lady. She was president of the student council when she was at Commonwealth. She was a recipient of the 100 Black Women in Funeral Service Scholarship. She received her Certified Funeral Service Practitioner designation today. She's been with Paradise Funeral Home ever since. I think even before she started school. Christia Bob, would you please come forward? Congratulations, Christia.
Thank you.
There is somebody who I rely upon day in and day out to do my job. In fact, if you were to ask anybody, hey, who runs Commonwealth Institute? They would say, oh, it's Patsy Moreno, of course. Patsy has been just new to Commonwealth. She is celebrating her 33rd year at Commonwealth Institute of Funeral Service. She graduated, I go back to when she graduated from Commonwealth. She serves as our registrar She is really instrumental in the founding and the continuation of the Houston Metropolitan Funeral Directors Association. She's the president of the Commonwealth Alumni Association. And 2011, 2012, she was the recipient of the Southeast Texas Funeral Directors Association Funeral Director of the Year. She's given back, ladies and gentlemen, countless hours, and there have been numerous lives that have been touched by Ms. Moreno, the students who have come through Commonwealth and beyond. As a matter of fact, if you look at the programs and when we see the congratulations advertisements that are in there, Patsy specially requested that instead of doing that for her, that she would rather the money go toward scholarships for the 100 Black women in funeral service. That's the kind of person that she is. That's how she lives her life and conducts her business. I don't know what I'd do without her. You cannot retire. If you're thinking about it, you can't. Patsy, would you please come forward? Congratulations. This time, I'd like to ask Nancy Barber to come forward.
I have one thing to say about Patsy. I was there when she graduated. I was there when they hired her. And I cannot tell you, she's one of my favorite people and one of my best friends in the funeral service. So that's a little bit about her. First, I want to thank one of my favorite people and a special friend, Elleanor Starks, for asking me to be a part of this very special presentation. I have lived funeral service all my life. Since my dad, Bill Pierce, started Dallas Institute in the early 40s and devoted his whole life to funeral service and funeral service education. I probably have been in more funeral homes than all the people in this room, a lot more. I have watched funeral service education grow from presentations in hotels and odd places and a few core standalone schools to 58 programs and single-purpose schools today. It was important to my dad that I understood the profession he and my mom were a part of, but also that I appreciated and respected the men and women that chose funeral service as their life's work. He had a dream and a vision for the future of funeral service and funeral service education. Until the day he died, he devoted himself to the profession he loved. And I'll have to say, I am my father's daughter, and the funeral business will always be a part of my life. This morning, I had the pleasure of presenting the 2014 Texas Black Women of Funeral Service, Phenomenal Women, from Dallas Institute. As I prepared this morning and read the bios, I realized I was in trouble. There were truly phenomenal women, and I hope you will take the time to read about each one of them. It will certainly give you a greater appreciation of each of them and their dedication to the funeral service profession. All of the honorees that I will introduce this morning are graduates of Dallas Institute, which makes them the best in my book. strong, self-motivated, smart, savvy women that are involved in funeral service at all levels of the profession. The first recipient that I'm going to call forward is Ramona Ellis. Douglas and Pearlie Mae Jackson. Upon high school graduation, she entered the United States Army, where she faithfully served her country for 5 years. Ramona was deployed to Guantanamo Bay in 1994, where she served her country in the migrant crisis between Cuba and Haiti. Ramona received the Meritorious Service Award for saving a little Haitian girl from being hit by a moving bus. She received an honorable discharge, and then she came to Dallas Institute in January of 1997. She was a member of Pi Theta Sigma. Due to her academic achievements, Ramona continued in her funeral science studies and graduated in the class of June 1980. And she works for Elleanor. And I might say that as I read these, you'll find that I grew up in Oak Cliff, and you'll find that the women that are going to be presented today, a lot of them work in Oak Cliff and grew up in Oak Cliff. The second person is Nicole Lee Collins. She's a resident of Dallas, Texas, born and raised in the suburbs, and she says Oak Cliff, Texas. It is obvious a higher power had other plans for Nicole. 15 years ago, she showed up on the doorstep at Sandra Clark's funeral home. Now, Sandra Clark's going to be mentioned a whole lot of times because I think everybody showed up on her doorstep to get advice, as I've read this. And asked if Miss Clark stated that she did not have a job interviews and asked if Nicole knew how to answer the phone for a night receptionist. Soon she discovered there was never a dull moment in the business, and she dove in head first. The same year, Nicole attended 2001, graduated from Dallas Institute of Funeral Service. Frances Davis. Dallas Institute in 1982. Started her career at Singing Hills and stayed 6 years, and has been in the funeral service industry for 35 years. She met Sandra Clark, and the rest is history. She currently has worked for Sandra Clark's funeral home. Frances met the love of her life in the funeral industry, the late John Almond Davis. Carissa Madison. Carissa Madison, following in the footsteps of her father, Alan G. Madison, is a second-generation funeral director at Evergreen Memorial Funeral Home. She joined the Evergreen family in May of 2006. Carissa received her Bachelor of Science degree in Speech Pathology and Audiology in 1998, and her Master's degree of Science in Hearing Science Communications in 2000, both from Tennessee State University in Nashville. She's a 2007 graduate of Dallas Institute with an associate degree in Applied Sciences. While attending Dallas Institute, she served as president of her class and was inducted as a member of Pi Sigma Eta, an honorary funeral service fraternity. Carissa is currently the staff manager of Evergreen. Now, the next person really didn't go to Dallas Institute, But she's so close to Dallas Institute, she's on my list. Nicole Kelly. She graduated with honors and distinction from John Marshall High School and went on to earn a Bachelor of Science degree in funeral service from the University of Central Oklahoma. Her career began as an apprentice in the Temple & Sons Funeral Directors in Oklahoma City. She obtained her Funeral Directors and Embalmers license in 1994 and continues to maintain both in good standing. Nicole's decision to pursue funeral service was affirmed in April of 1995 when she became an intricate part in assisting families affected by the bombing of the Murrah building. As a caring funeral professional, she provided emotional support and resources to grieving families at their time of need. The next two people that I'm going to talk about, Sandra Clark. That I know Sandra Clark. And all the things that's written about her are so interesting. And she certainly has been a mentor to so many. She was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. She grew up when she was attending college in the great state of Texas. She chose to attend Bishop College in Dallas on a full academic scholarship. After graduating from Bishop College and receiving her Bachelor of Arts degree, she then matriculated to East Texas State University, where she received a master's degree in education. While teaching, she and her partner at that time had dreams of opening their own funeral home. In 1980, their dream came true in fruition. They were blessed to purchase an 1,800 square foot pre-owned funeral home. In 1987, Sandra enrolled at the Dallas Institute of Funeral Service and received an associate degree. Sandra has maintained being in the funeral business for over 35 years by being faithful to God and treating families she serves with honesty, dignity, integrity, and professionalism. Her main goal and aspiration is to preserve her legacy as an independent, owned, and operated Black funeral home through her 4 children. Next is Janice Matthews. Our business owner and entrepreneur hails from the great state of Texas. She makes an indelible impression on everyone around because of her beautiful personality and her willingness to help others. Janice is the owner of Doris Miller Memorial Park and co-owner of Dorsey Kids Funeral Homes in Waco, Texas. In 1972, Janice began her career in law enforcement, starting at the Waco Police Department and continuing at McClellan County Sheriff's Department. While still with the Sheriff's Department, she began employed at Dorsey Kids Funeral Home as a driver. In 1990, she enrolled at the Dallas Institute. After graduation, she became a mortician and currently serves as a licensed funeral director. The next person is Carolyn Beckwith-Haynes. I have to say I'm a Carolyn kid. And I'll say this, the 3 funeral homes that I've mentioned this morning are all in the same neighborhood, with all different kinds of personalities, different people that are running them, and all very successful. Carolyn ended up as the CFO in her family business. She is an important part of the great legacy of John E. Beckwith Sr. and the late Eileen Zachary Beckwith. Having 20 years of work experience in various capacities, and after careful consideration, she decided to come on board in 1994. and the rest is history. Carolyn is the co-host of Ask the Undertaker Show. She is married to Kevin Haynes, a licensed funeral director with her family firm. Being together for 16 years, they are the proud parents of 2 beautiful daughters, one handsome son, a grandson, a granddaughter. Carolyn Beckwith Haynes serves in the prestigious Dallas Institute Service Board. Dallas, Texas. He's a savvy and successful professional who has a wealth of mortuary background and experience. A native Dallas resident, a 1981 graduate of Dallas Institute of Mortuary Science. In 30 years of training and tenuring, has been exclusive with mentors Walter and Lorraine Wilson, owners of Cedar Crest Funeral Home. After the closing of Cedar Crest, in the late 2005, Shonda and her husband, Derek, stepped out on faith and founded Sacred Funeral Home. I'm going to ask the last 3 ladies that are the recipients. I want them to all come up at the same time. Christy Redmond. That's not to say that I'm not going to say something about each one of them individually. But what I did want to say about these ladies is how important they have been to my life and to the Dallas Institute. Because each one of these ladies has worked at Dallas Institute. Terry works at Dallas Institute. And they all have left their mark with professionalism and love for the profession, and I'm so proud of each one of them, and I love to call them my friends. Tanya Cunningham, raise your hand. Tanya is a successful and dedicated licensed social worker and licensed funeral director and embalmer. An advocate of higher learning, Tanya obtained an Associate of Applied Science at Dallas Institute. She graduated with a Bachelor of Social Work degree from the University of Texas in Austin. She was later motivated to pursue graduate degrees in the field of counseling and went on to earn a master's degree in this field at Amherst University. She has made history as being the first African-American female instructor at Dallas Institute. Tanya is a member of the local bereavement Coordinators Association in Fort Worth, and she facilitates life after loss. Christy is one of the most interesting people I know. She's worked in the funeral service for over 16 years. She has her own business, C.K. Redmond Consulting, and Sunset Concepts Casket Inserts. She currently works for Shannon Funeral Chapels in Fort Worth. But what I'd like to say about Christy is when she was an instructor at Dallas Institute, she had more ideas than we ever thought could happen. And she wanted to put all of them in place. And she started Women in Black, which is an organization at Dallas Institute, to be a mentoring group from one class to the other for the women at Dallas Institute. And it's one of the most successful things that we've had. And now Terry is in charge of it since she moved on. But incredible person. And last but not least is Terry Parrish. Born and raised in Dallas, Texas, a former nurse, she attended the Dallas Institute of Funeral Service in 1997, graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Funeral. Once she graduated, she wrote this, so she said, once I graduated from Dallas Institute, I began working for the college as the Registrar Director of Admissions. She is also a busser as well as the Veterans Official, and boy, you can tell she wrote this. I'm currently been there 15 years. In 2010, she decided to return to college and achieved her bachelor's degree in human services from Ottawa University. Upon completion of her BA, she is currently attending Capella University to achieve her master's degree. Pretty impressive for a full-time job. These women, all of these women are so outstanding, and I hope you'll give each one of them right now a round of applause.
Good morning. Good morning. It's my privilege this morning to the last two, the Washington ladies. I'd like to thank Elleanor for giving me this opportunity to be here this morning. My name is Irene Preston, and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a licensed funeral director, licensed embalmer, and we own our own funeral home. And I have to say, I was fine until my husband walked in the door. And I got nervous. It was just like him coming into a service that I'm conducting. So I'll be fine. I'll be fine here. Yeah, I got it. Okay. My first presentation will be for Barbara Washington. Barbara Washington is a Dallas, Texas native. Barbara received her elementary and high school education from Texas Independent School District. She obtained a bachelor's degree from University of Texas. She has been married to Frankie for 29 years. They have 3 children, Francesca, Barry, and Frankie. Barbara began her professional career with the Dallas County Clerk and then the state of Texas. After years of dreaming and planning, Frankie and Barbara opened their own funeral home, Paradise Funeral Home. They have celebrated 20 years as of February. Barbara finds joy and fulfillment working alongside her husband and son as the business manager, handling the day-to-day operations. Barbara is a member of the Pearly Gate Baptist Church, where she serves as vice president of the Deaconess Board. Barbara is a proud member of the 100 Black Women of Funeral Service, Ladies Auxiliary of the National Funeral Directors and Morticians Association, Ladies Auxiliary of the Dallas Local Funeral Directors, member of the Jack and Jill, former Jack and Jill Club. And Barbara is extremely thrilled and honored to be recognized by the 100 Black Women of Funeral Service. I hope that you will read her bio. It's very interesting. And on a personal note, I found out something last night. She likes to dance. So please stand, and not stand, just give her a round of applause. Our next honoree is Ms. Lois Collins Washington. Ms. Washington is from New Orleans, Louisiana. After completing her high school and primary education, she enrolled in Dillard University and completed her freshman and sophomore years. And then she went back and got a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. Lois married the very handsome and debonair Robert Washington, Jr. in June of 1967. They became the proud parents of Karen Denise Washington and Robert Eugene Washington. Her family was very active in civic, social, and sporting activities. Lois' husband, Robert, was a licensed funeral director and the owner of the funeral home, of Lewis Funeral Home. After she retired, he asked her to come and work in the funeral home. Thus, Lois began working part-time and then later full-time. He taught her many things about the funeral business. During his tenure, Lois assisted him in organizing the historic 100th anniversary of the Lewis Funeral Home. The celebration took place in 2009. In early March 2010, he became ill and was no longer able to manage the business. As a result, she was able to step in and help out. Her beloved spouse, Robert Worston, passed in April 2011. She then took over the ownership and management of Lewis Funeral Home, the oldest black funeral home in San Antonio, Texas. They have 13 full-time employees and 6 part-time employees. Lois is an active member in St. Paul United Methodist Church in San Antonio. She's an active member of St. Paul Methodist Church in San Antonio, and she's proud to be a recipient of this award.
Right along. Our next award is going to go to a very special woman who's acted as a chairwoman for 20 years for the 100 Black Women of Funeral Service, and she is also the owner of the House of Winston. Can we get Miss Mary Louise Winston to come forward?
Good morning, my name is Allison Scott and I'm with the House of Winston Funeral Services. Today we are here to honor a very, very special woman, Mary Louise Winston, for her hard work and dedication, not only to the funeral industry, but to her service to the community as well. Her vision, perseverance, and dedication have brought meaning to all of our lives. Ms. Winston is a graduate of California State University and furthered her education in accounting at UCLA and Metropolitan Business Colleges for service, training, and management. Applying her talent and knowledge in accounting, she pursued her professional careers at a number of reputable companies, including the Los Angeles School District, Golden State Mutual Life Insurance, Sanders Construction Company. Ms. Winston has had a calling for serving others and those in the community. In 1963, Mary Louise married James W. Winston, and together they embarked on this journey of service to others. What was once considered a dream became a long tradition of providing assistance to those who have lost loved ones to death, offering honorable service. James W. Winston left this earth in 1991. Ms. Winston continued to uphold the tradition they had instilled through the years of service at House of Winston Mortuary. And after 40 plus years of wonderful service, Ms. Winston retired April of 2014. And today we are here to honor you, you very special, beautiful woman.
Her award reads, in recognition of your leadership, advocacy, dedication to the funeral service profession, your mission of excellence, integrity, goodwill, service, education, and cooperation serves as an example to others to follow. Congratulations.
For those of you who don't know, Mrs. Winston has not only been a strong supporter of this organization, she's been quietly donating through partnership with Batesville to support the scholarships as a part of this organization. And we could never say enough thanks for what you've done for us, but we did want to offer a token of appreciation for the partnership between the House of Winston, Batesville, and this wonderful organization to say just thank you again for everything that you've done.
This is really a surprise, and I don't feel that I deserve the honor, but in the years that I have been working as a funeral director and an owner of a mortuary, it's been very rewarding, and I'm so happy that I was able to carry on the legacy of my late husband. He was truly an undertaker. He was so dedicated, and I just didn't have an excuse not to try to carry on. And I want you to know I have retired, but I will forever, as long as I live, be a part of the mortuary business. And taking over House of Winston Mortuary are these two young people. Where are you? I'm getting old, you all, and I forget, you know, I know his first name, I can't think of it right. Shane B. Scott and Allison Scott. And I know this might not be proper, but I'm asking you to support them because you will receive the same service that you've received from House of Winston since 1974. Thank you so very much.
Next up, we're going to have Fred Lappin with the ICCFA.
Good morning. What an incredible event. And I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank and acknowledge the NFDMA, your leadership, your staff, 100 black women in the funeral service, their leadership and their staff, for not only putting on an incredible event this morning throughout this week, a terrific property and just a spectacular event, but also for welcoming myself individually and collectively on behalf of the ICCFA. It has been a very welcoming, inclusive, and warm reception that I've received, and I want to thank all of you and your associations for that opportunity. So, thank you very much. While it certainly is an honor and a privilege to be here and to represent the ICCFA, in my travels around the country, I have the opportunity, which is a real blessing and a real privilege, to acknowledge certain individuals and their contributions to funeral service nationwide. And once again this morning, I have that privilege and that honor. I'm not sure if this individual knows that this is coming. If it's a surprise, it is all the better. But this is someone who I have only had the opportunity to meet in the last day or two. And in a very short period of time, she is someone who impressed me considerably with her care, her concern, her passion, her energy, and her drive, not only for your association, but for this profession that we all serve. So on behalf of the ICCFA, it is my privilege and my honor to present this plaque this morning to Jamie D. Jeter Cameron. Jamie, would you go ahead, please? While Jamie's making her way here, as I said, I only had the opportunity to meet her the last day or two. You know her as someone who is passionate about our profession, passionate about your association, and passionate about her community and everything she does. And the plaque that we will present this morning reads as follows. The International Cemetery Cremation and Funeral Association, presented to Jamie D. Jeter Cameron in recognition of devoted service to the funeral profession on this date in 2014. Please join me in giving a huge thank you and round of applause to Jamie Cameron.
Just briefly, I just want to say that as the president of NFD and MA, I felt that it was extremely important that we do continue and further strengthen the relationships that we have with our sister organizations, with NFDA and of course with ICCFA. But the primary reason that I did so is not because I wanted us to just show that, we could all play in the same sandbox, but it's simply because in the book of Proverbs 18 and 24 it says if a man should have friends, he should show himself friendly. And so I thank you all so much for everything, and I thank you for this class, and I thank you for your continued support. God bless you all.
Okay, next up, we just want to acknowledge our VIP guests, and they're going to be over here at table number 6. If I can get you all to stand as I call your name. We've got President and Mrs. Robbie Bates, NFDA. I've got Fred Latkin, ICCFA. President Jamie Jeter Cameron, NFDMA, and lovely Elleanor. Got Jay Dawes, ICCFA. Mr. Barry Franklin. I do believe he is absent, but he is the convention coordinator, IFDA. And then we have Mr. Delbert Jackson, our president of the Independent Funeral Directors Association. We've got Dr. Jill Karn. Jay Dodds of Houston, Texas, ICCFA. And last but certainly not least, the Russo sisters. And we also want to thank our sponsors, and that was Federal Coach and Limousine, Bakersfield Casket Company, Funeral Home Gifts, and Moments Publications. Federal Coach and Limousine, can you please come forward? Batesville Casket Company. Let's give all of our sponsors a round of applause. And while we're waiting on President Cameron to come back to the stage for closing remarks, we want to thank Mama Starks for always recognizing those going above and beyond. Service professionals, those that are really truly serving and not just having funerals, and their families that are actually backing them and supporting them when they're out long hours. And I want to make you all aware that Porter Law Firm is raffling off a 1900s replica hearse. If you'll come to the African American Funeral Service Museum booth, that's number 1023, and register. That will be today sometime. Thank you all. At 3 o'clock. All right, and thank you all for coming. We know you all could have slept in a little bit and been all right with that. We y'all for coming out.
I think I've pretty much established myself as being an official crier. I don't know. Yeah, I tell everyone that I've become a little more emotional about things since my dad made his transition in March. And just in closing, just simply to say that truly to President Hector in her absence, and of course to the 100 founder, Ms. Elleanor Starks, this event, not only this year, but in the years that you all have been in existence for the last 21 years, has been wonderful. You take such care and such commitment in the selection of the individuals that you honor, and everyone truly deserves the honors that they receive. To the honorees tonight, you all are all phenomenal women in your own walks and in your own ministries, and I wish you all the best in your continued service in funeral service and funeral service education. And simply just to say that NFD-NMA will forever be committed to partnering with the 100 Black Women of Funeral Service, because we do feel that this indeed is an opportunity for many individuals not only to gain exposure to our organization, but to be a part of something that is bigger than they are. And I think once people get an opportunity to see the network and the camaraderie that does exist with our organizations, then they will in tune then decide to reach outside of their own box and to actually become a part of something that can be and will forever be great. God bless you all, and we truly love you. And those of you, like myself, who are supposed to be in the general session, they've already started, and I told them to go ahead, so y'all come on. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You didn't get here by yourself. I don't know about you, but listen. Been to the fire, been to the fire.
Got his PhD from the History Department at Yale in 2008, if I remember right, and at Duke.
We got the legendary Carl Thomas on Skype, man.
Ricardo, Michelle, say hi to everybody.
Hi,
everybody. Wonderful. Technical difficulties. You got to roll with it, right? So we were talking about profile.